there, welcome back to the Hilarity Express. Today's video is a real head-turner, because we're flipping through some of the boldest, most daring vintage photos ever taken, the kind that might make you lean in closer and whisper, "They wore that back then." We're talking about classic photos that didn't need high definition to leave a lasting impression. These weren't just snapshots, they were statements. Taken in an era known for rules and modesty, these images somehow pushed boundaries with a single pose, a daring outfit, or just the way someone looked into the lens with complete confidence. Back then, fashion wasn't about shock value, it was about suggestion. A curve-hugging silhouette, a waistline that made jaws drop, a high-cut swimsuit that defied every proper expectation of the time, and the result? Photos that still make people stop scrolling decades later. And let's be honest, the lighting, the styling, the aura, it all came together in a way that still feels magnetic. These vintage girls didn't need filters or flashy graphics. Their power was in how they carried themselves. There was something about that self-assurance, that slight smirk, that playful glance that made you feel like they knew exactly what they were doing canterly, and they loved keeping you guessing. Some of the most jaw-dropping shots were taken on sunny beaches, studio sets, or tucked-away dressing rooms. The outfits often sheer, slinky, or just bold enough to raise a few eyebrows. Without saying a word, fabrics clung just right, hems flirted with gravity, and poses said, "I dare you not to look." What's wild is that these images, decades old, still spark conversation today. They get shared, reposted, admired, not just for their beauty, but for their attitude. There was elegance, mystery, and a kind of fearlessness that feels just as fresh now as it did then. And here's the twist. While many people assume the past was more conservative, these vintage photos tell a different story. They prove that confidence, allure, and expression have always found a way to shine, even when the world tried to dim the lights. These women didn't just pose for a camera, they owned it. So if you've ever thought vintage meant boring, think again. These girls were leaving little to the imagination before it was trending, and they did it with class, confidence, and just the right amount of cheeky charm. If you loved this peek into the past, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. For more iconic moments, timeless style, and the kind of vintage glam that never goes out of fashion. Let us know in the comments, which era do you think had the boldest looks?